Hello, musicians! I'm Ben Brown, and I want to continue our conversation about crypto and NFTs. Last time, we went through gas fees, the horrible, sad reality of gas fees on the Ethereum blockchain. We talked about how to lower them, how not to lower them. Now we are ready to look up some alternatives to Ethereum. So Ethereum is not the only world computer. There is other blockchains that are competing with it, and I've got my own favorite one. That is where this guy comes in. I love him. He's a little dancing taco mummy guy. And we'll have to talk about that later. We'll get there. First, let's go to our handy dandy Gemini price list. This is excellent for figuring out what's going on and what's happening. And if you remember from the beginning, there's only two things that matter. There's Bitcoin and there's Ethereum. There's Bitcoin and there's Ethereum. But there was a third, and there's something I'm quite interested in. A lot of people are touting Solana as going to be the thing that competes with Ethereum. I don't know Solana that much. It kind of gives me the wrong vibes. I don't like it. But some people are betting on that horse, and I'm sure they'll make money. I think it's going to just come crashing down. We could talk about that in the later episodes. I want to reference again. Right now is January 2022. Things are going to totally change. This information is completely time sensitive. Things might disappear and change, so don't worry too much about it. But here's the current state of affairs. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're on top. They're the champs. They're number one and they're number two. Solana is a lot of people's favorites, but my preferred alternative, and we're going to just scroll. We're going to keep on scrolling. We're gonna pass all these guys up. But here on Gemini, we finally, at this really low part, we get to see Tezos. And I adore Tezos. Tezos makes me very happy. We're going to get into why does Tezos, this thing that's like way down the list, why does it make me happy? It's only $4. You can't make a whole lot of money on Tezos, and that's the beauty of it. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're both attempting to be holds of value. Like they want their currency to be more valuable in the future, and like that's going to be the point. Like what's the point of gold? As an investor, it's to buy it now because people are going to want it in 10, 20 years. And they'll be willing to pay a higher price in 10 or 20 years. It's a way to lock in your wealth. Where dollars are inflating and they lose value. And there's a good reason for that. And Tezos has a inflation strategy. So, we're back here on Gemini to learn about something because they do a good job of writing the about sections and giving a nice history. And Tezos has been around for a while. There's a lot going on with it. The style that they created themselves in is a lot cheaper than, when I say cheaper, I mean like computationally. It doesn't take as much energy as Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so Bitcoin and Ethereum take buttloads of energy to make their blockchains work. Tezos has gone an alternative route. And in fact, Ethereum wants to follow suit. So Tezos is already there, but Ethereum is going to try to upgrade and be more like Tezos in a way. We'll discuss that in the next conversation. But here on supply on Gemini, we get to learn that inside of Tezos, the protocol, it has a model of inflation. So there's an inflation rate of 5.4% every year. So 5.4% every year. What does that mean? It means that Tezos, like the dollar that has inflation, Tezos is meant to be spent. It's meant to be an exchange of value. It's not meant for anybody to just like buy and put it in a safe and hold it and never use it. It's actually meant for transactions. And so that means it's cheap to do a transaction right now on Tezos. And in the future, it will also be relatively cheap to operate on Tezos. Just that notion of inflation means, Ethereum is expensive now. Maybe in the future their upgrade will work and they won't be as expensive. We'll talk about that next time. But then they'll just have that same problem in the future because Ethereum is intended, it's created in a way to become more and more valuable for those who are holding on to it. But Tezos, it's a great little operational thing. It's like I own Ethereum and Bitcoin because I expect them to go up in value as an asset. I love operating on Tezos. Like if I'm going to do a project or I'm going to work on something, I love the thought of doing it on Tezos where the costs are never going to get too crazy high. It kind of moves slower than Ethereum. Ethereum is always on the cutting edge. So they're creating and inventing into the new space and making all the mistakes there. And then Tezos comes along and takes the best ideas and reintegrates it. And not in like a grubby derivative way. It's just like it doesn't have as much firepower behind it. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin has $785 billion worth that people have invested in, 377 billion in Ethereum, and then like a little more than 10% for the third place, Solana. But you go down to Tezos. Tezos is just smaller, shy of 4 billion. It's cheap now, and it will always be cheap to operate and to work in. And it's like if I'm going to build a business, I want to build it on Tezos. You can buy it from Gemini. You could buy Tezos. You can also buy Tezos on Coinbase. Where is it? Where are they? Oh man, this is a secret that I am not afraid that's going to get out. You can buy Tezos on Coinbase, and then you can send it to a wallet so that you can participate in Tezos. So Tezos is a separate blockchain from Bitcoin. It's a separate blockchain from Ethereum. So it needs its own wallet. This is the wallet that I use right now, QKai. QKai makes it really simple. Like they have a really attractive design. They show you the balance. They show your recent activity. It displays the NFTs in an attractive way. And they have a really good way of like having a nice recovery process. And I like this Discover section. So this lets me know about things that Tezos is up to. And so this is almost like a news feed. So Ubisoft actually made a bet on Tezos. And I love that. Because like here's the thing to understand. I think of Tezos as being kind of the world's Ethereum. Ethereum is the global computer. It allows you to do all this neat stuff. It's really, really cool. My issue with it is it's just too expensive. Like no other part of the world can take advantage of all this neat stuff that's happening on Ethereum. Who can show up and buy $1,000 worth of a thing and then pay hundreds of dollars to operate it? If you're not doing so well around the world, like something like this blockchain and DeFi and all these things on Ethereum would be super beneficial to somebody who has like a unstable government and unstable currency. It's just like it's too expensive. Like nobody else can do it. It's like the only people who can operate in that world are the people who got in early, and that's not the image that I have of why blockchain and crypto is useful. But Tezos actually fulfills the promise. Like Tezos, it's cheap now. It will be cheap later. People can convert whatever their currency is into Tezos when they can, and then they can take advantage of all the really cool things that will be available. One of the options is creating NFTs and then selling them to make money. So like Tezos has become really popular in South America. This guy that I showed you earlier, he's a taco because Tezos is one very popular in South America in like the southern global areas because it's something that they can actually participate in and put in money. And so this guy's a little dancing taco because Tezos is often called tacos. Send me a couple tacos. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I love the thought. And so you can be in South America. You can maybe not have that much money. You can be an artist, but you have a computer and you can make an NFT. You can make the NFT for very few Tezos, and then you can make money off of selling that Tezos art, put it back into the Tezos creating, and then like You have a business. You can have a business in like Venezuelan dollars. Well, Venezuelan dollars are worthless. Like it's so good. It's so good for people. Here's another option. Uniswap is really neat, but it costs, $60 to use at any given moment. CubeSwap is the same thing. It's you can take your Tezos and you can convert it into KUSD, which is like, it's a decentralized version of dollars. So if you have Tezos and you'd like to be holding dollars because dollars is better than your country's currency for holding value, you can do that. You can sell some art, get some Tezos, convert it into dollars. Or heck, you can be converting your Tezos into the ultimate value holder, which is Bitcoin. We can talk about that later. It's on Tezos, so it's not holding Bitcoin, but you have a representation of Bitcoin, this TZ wrapped Bitcoin. Yeah, you can run these swaps. It'll cost like, let's swap my 0.18 tacos, pay a 0.0016 Tez. At a 76 cents, it's like, does that come out to a penny or something? Really exciting. So it's like Ethereum, super cool, super exciting. Crypto is cool. DeFi is very cool. It's become a little bit elitist and inaccessible. I don't like that. I think Tezos is actually fulfilling the promise of what crypto can be for the world. So this is the world's Ethereum. Shoot, okay, I didn't realize I was going to just go on a rant about Tezos. Let's close this one out. In the next one, we'll talk about making an NFT with Tezos. We'll show you what I made as an NFT and the very first NFT that I ever bought and why I thought that project was so cool, especially for musicians. And so, again, I am Ben Brown. I have a Patreon where I have created Hangout with Musicians. Hangout with Musicians is how I am attempting to help my musician friends build a career online. And if you want to see what we're doing, you can go to our website down in the description. We'll have a link to our website and our podcast. If you really love this, you can join me on Patreon. I would enjoy your support. And plus, 10% of what I'm given through Patreon goes to my favorite charity, Give Directly. They're super rad. Yeah. Thanks for getting up early and having this conversation that I can't stop having. Let's continue the conversation in the next video. Bye.